Good evening, folks, and it was a long time coming. In fact, something like 3 months, 12 weeks, thereabouts, whatever. Well, what a way to start this week's DINAMO-TV rescheduled episode of DINAMO-TV. Normally would come out on a Wednesday night. This week we're coming out on a Thursday night, and it's a very good reason why. My name's Taunchi Prusats. I'm your host for tonight. And the reason is because earlier today, the club announced 4 new signings during this new towards the end of season transfer window opening up. And if you weren't abreast of all of the notifications on our social media platforms, well, tonight we will go over that. We'll be talking to Jason Zeri, our team manager, our senior men's NPL team manager. He'll be talking about all of our new 4 signings, including one big name signing. We'll also catch up with the hero from last week's win against Oakley Cannons, and boy, was that a heart stopper. Mikhail Platt's last minute goal, sending the crowd at Churchill Reserve in absolute delirium. And we'll also hear from the senior women's coach Tom Pondelyak, who, as we speak, is in action down at Churchill Reserve in a practice match against sister club Melbourne Knights, the senior women's of Dynamo and the senior women's of the Melbourne Knights, that is. So that's happening as we speak, a friendly happening down at Churchill Reserve. So, yeah, we've got heaps of stuff on tonight, folks. It is episode 23 of season 2025. And would you believe, in total, we've done 61 episodes of DINAMO-TV. Well, a few more seasons and we'll get to 100. That'd be fantastic. It's all gearing up for the big 50th birthday bash in a couple of weeks' time. It's going to be huge. But until then, we've got lots happening on and off the field. And we're going to take a short break after a message from our main sponsor, the I&D Group. And when we return, we've got tonight's news desk. Don't go away, folks. It's DINAMO-TV. You are watching.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dynamo Football Club in 2024.
Yes, it's time for the news desk, folks, and yes, what's the best way to describe it? Euphoric Friday night it was last weekend, and at Churchill Reserve. We're going to show those highlights of that memorable 3-2 win against the Oakley Cannons.
5-2 loss last week against Melbourne Victory.
Yes, it's a huge game for both these sides for very different reasons. Oakley wanting to stay in the top 4 race. The home side wanting to get out of that relegation battle. So it's going to be a massive game of football here, as we mentioned earlier in the telecast. It is Oakley Cannons who will be kicking to the left of screen. Dynamo will be kicking to the right. They are playing in their usual blue home strip, so... where's it? And there's opening goal. He was onside. And it's the Cannons who made them pay, and it's Adam Juratovic who gets his first goal this season.
Oakley the 1-0 lead here at Churchill Reserve, so a big-time goal, and that might be the goal that Oakley needs to possibly hold on to an additional 3 points and maybe possibly boosting them up to third on the table. A nice little ball there by Sharon. Could this be an opportunity here for Dinamo? Gulevski keeping it alive inside, trying to press it forwards. Divan was inside, along too with Dragicevic. Ball just being tipped around a little bit again. Sharon, he was onside. He's going to go to his side. What a beautiful goal! And the equaliser is good. The under-23s player, Jerome Sharon. And the Churchill loves it over my left-hand shoulder. He goes into the back, a close one. Joe Guest once again keeping it away from the goal. But I think it'll be actually another corner, so...
Hitting a rock there.
In for Dinamo.
Almost got his first goal of the game, his career at Dinamo. So the first timers tonight are really stepping up to the plate. There's a corner here for Dinamo on the hill. On the edge of the box, Monet whips one in. Oh, Joey Monet! Oh my word! That has to be the goal of the evening. And the Dinamo faithful are in raptures here.
So, saw it in a couple of plays not too long ago when the ball's in the back line of Dinamo. The Oakley players were all up and around trying to force Dinamo into mistake, and they're slowly forcing them into one, and you can tell they want to get back on the score sheet, but can they do it? Obviously, time will be telling at the moment. Beautiful ball off to Kasumovic inside. He's trying to cross it in. Joe Guest inside. Could this be an opportunity for Sinclair? Oh, yes, it is. The equaliser's good for Oakley. And we're back to equal 2 apiece. And this is very familiar for Dinamo. The past 3 encounters that they've had have been 2-2, and yet another one is a little bit of a payback after the hill, possibly. The hill might be tuned just a little bit too hard here. And Brody Boyce didn't want any bit of that. Austin Mills to throw it in.
2 minutes to go.
This is anyone's ball game right now, Alex. This could go anybody's way. Who's going to be in the right spot at the right time? Jurgic. Cross it in, inside. The ball's inside. Mikel He's there! He hasn't had the best game tonight, and he's at the right spot at the right time. The former Hume City player putting the possible dagger in the heart for Oakley.
Is there one last roll of the dice here for the Cannons? They've just got to go forward. They go wide. Kasumovic. Boyce overlapping. He crosses it into the box. They clear. There it is. The full-time whistle sounds. And it's the Dinamo who are able to sing the song after the game.
Well, we did on last week's show predict Jerome Charan would score, and he did. Fantastic effort that. But what a goal there by Joey Monek, and then that one right at the end by Mikel Platt. We will be speaking to Mikel a little bit later on in the show after the news desk. But let's get on with the news desk. And as a result of last week's performance, two of Dinamo's players got into the NPL Team of the Week, Joey Monek and Luca Chabraya as well. So let's have a look at the results there. A 3-2 win over Oakley Cannons means that we are now in 11th position. We're 2 points ahead of Melbourne Victory, who are in third last position. We're 2 points ahead of Port Melbourne, who defeated Melbourne Victory on Monday night. And lo and behold, that is the team we take on tomorrow night at JL Murphy Reserve across town in Port Melbourne. Kickoff there is 8:15 p.m. The under-23s will be kicking off at 6:15. And the under-19s will be in action on Sunday at 5 p.m. But all roads lead to JL Murphy Reserve round 20 fixture. It's a 6-pointer, as they say, a real 6-pointer. One of those games that we just need to win. And look, we're 2 points behind ninth place Tellus. 1 point behind 10th place Deltona Magic. A win this weekend against Port Melbourne. And then we've got sister club and current cellar dwellers, Melbourne Knights, the week after. So 2 very important weeks coming up for St Albans Dynamo. Let's hope the boys can come back with the 3 points on Friday night as they did last Friday night at home. All right, let's look at the results. The under-23s, they continue that winning form with a 2-0 win over Oakley Cannons, as too did the under-19s, a 2-0 win over the under-19 Oakley Cannons. The women did extremely well, defeating Brunswick City 5-1. And in junior boys NPL action, it was round 8. We saw the under-14s win against Hume City, the only team to do so. The under-15s lost to Caroline Springs George Cross. The 16s and the 17s lost to sister club North Geelong Warriors. And looking at the women's, that 5-1 win, we had Jana Cholina scoring a hat-trick, Sienna Delia scoring 1 goal, and Abby Pavlinosic scoring 1 goal. So it means that Jana has got 10 goals for the season. Sienna has got 12 for the season, and Abby has taken her season's tally to 6 goals. And the ladies find themselves just 3 points behind the runaway leaders, Uni Hill Eagles. When I say runaway leaders, they've played their 8 games and 8 wins, have not dropped a point all season. And unfortunately, it's only the top team that gets promoted to to State 1. So it's going to be a pretty important game. Well, it would be a very tough game remaining of the season, I should say, tough remainder of the season. Now, the ladies have got a bye this week, so that's one of the reasons why tonight they're having a practice game against the Melbourne Knights. And as we said, that game is in progress at the moment. And then they've got a mid-season catch-up round, I think, the following week. So for the next 2 weeks, our women are out of action. But while they're out of action, look at the camaraderie there. There's some photos from last Sunday's shellacking over Brunswick City, 5-1. Well done to the girls. We've forgotten to have the ladders of the under-23s and the under-19s, so we'll go back to that. The under-23s are in a 7th position. The under-19s have jumped back up the ladder. They're in 6th position as we speak. And that pretty much, I think, brings us to the end of the this week's news desk. So after this short break we're going to take, we will be catching up with Mikhail Platt, the scorer of last week's winner against Oakley Cannons, and we'll also be speaking to Dynamo Senior Men's NPL team manager Jason Zeri as well. Folks, don't go away. We've got a short ad break, and then we've got the first of our interviewees tonight, Mikhail Platt.
Payback after the hill, possibly. The hill might be tuned just a little bit too hard here. And Brody Boyce didn't want any bit of that. Austin Mills to throw it in.
2 minutes to go.
This is anyone's ball game right now, Alex. This could go anybody's way. Who's going to be in the right spot at the right time? Gurgic. Cross it in, inside. The ball's inside. Mikhail Platt! He's there! He hasn't had the best game tonight, and he's at the right spot at the right time. The former Hume City player putting the possible dagger in the heart for Oakley.
And there we have the man of the moment, Mikael Platt, joining us on DINAMO-TV. Mikael, firstly, welcome back to DINAMO-TV. We had you early in the season, didn't we?
Hey, Tansi, how you doing?
Yeah, good, mate, good. Thanks for joining us. Take us through that goal. Wow, what a heart stopper that was.
Yeah, it was absolute scenes in the moment. It felt good. I think in the game, it was 2-2, and yeah, last moments of the match, but we was kind of putting pressure on Oakley, and yeah, I think just a bit of belief from the boys to keep pressing, to keep playing the way that we play, and yeah, just stick to what we do. We got a throw in with Millsy on the left side, and yeah, he has got the ball back, bit of great footwork from him. Gulev played it out to Joey Kalina, out to Gergs, and I just thought in that moment, just get myself in the box. If a cross is coming in, I want to try and get on the end of it. So yeah, that was the first thing, just get myself in the box.
Yeah.
Gergs put a ball in, and it fell to Monek. He actually got a flick on it. I don't know if he was trying to control it or just get a flick on to try and score. We had a little laugh about it in the change room, but yeah, he got a little flick on, and luckily I was quick to react and get there to just put it in. And yeah, honestly, it was a great feeling. It felt good to get a goal. Obviously, I came off the bench, so when you come off the bench, you want to impact the game, and yeah, just try and get a goal, and yeah, to win. It's been coming. It's been tough, but it's been coming, and I'm just happy for it.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely awesome. I'll tell you a little fun story about that. At the time this was happening, I was in Ballarat. My daughter plays basketball, and she was playing basketball, and I was watching the stream and not really watching the game, and I should have. But all of a sudden, when that goal came through, I've let out this little scream, and everyone kind of in this thing were looking at me and thought, hang on a sec, there was nothing that was, I might have even been a timeout or something like that. And anyway, I've just let out this little scream, and I've looked around and said, okay, how are you folks? But what an awesome goal that was. What an awesome result. And for people speaking to people at the ground, it was just absolute delirium, I suppose. But it was building up, wasn't it? The last 3 weeks prior to that, 3 great results, all 2-2 results, and at the end of the day, we kind of thought it's going to have to, something's going to have to happen, and bang, against Oakley. How was the mood like leading up to this game? I mean, it was a tough game against Oakley, let's face it, on paper, but you guys had beaten them early in the season. Was there belief that you could do it, or was there that kind of, oh, gee, here we go? Is it going to be another one of those 2 points lost, 1 point gain type of games?
No, there was definitely belief. Oakley's a great team, but from our previous results against all top sides and picking up points, we knew that we can go against the best teams in the league and put on a performance. So yeah, going into the game, boys were confident. The vibes in the change rooms, the vibes in training have been good. And us boys have known that we just have to keep doing what we're doing. The results will change. You could say luck's not been on our side. We've been playing well against a lot of teams and just not getting the results. Yeah, it had to change at some point, and we stayed confident. We stuck together as a squad. So yeah, we just believed in the game, and as I said, we're just happy that we was able to get the 3 points.
Yeah. Now looking ahead this week, a very important game against Port Melbourne. They won on Monday against Victory, so the race to get out of the relegation zone is full on. And this game at JL Murphy Reserve, it's going to be a tough game. They're obviously quite confident going into this game, but so too are we. What are you expecting from this game against Port Melbourne on their turf?
I think it's going to be a really good game. 2 teams that have got a lot to fight for, and yeah, if we can get a win, we can potentially see a bit of daylight. Not saying it will be over and done with, but yeah. It's a great game, and we want to be able to just put on a performance to try and kick on from this last result, the last 4 games that we've had. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know the boys are ready. We'll all be ready, and we'll be ready to put on a performance. No one likes being in a relegation battle, but when you're there and you're in it, to get results and to get yourself out of there will be a great feeling. So I'm sure all the boys will be up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's the ladder, and this is how close it is. Now, if Port Melbourne wins, heaven forbid this happens, we're going to slip into the relegation zone, and they'll overtake us, and that's what the situation is there. However, if we win, we could potentially overtake Altona Magic, who have to play Green Gully, or we can even overtake South Melbourne as well, who are at home against Hume City. Um, it's just incredible to think, isn't it, that we could go from 11th to 9th, or we could go 11th to 12th and possibly 13th. It's very, very tight, isn't it, at the moment?
There's a lot up for grabs, but honestly, it makes the league interesting. It makes it more important and more enjoyable to play in. You want to do well. You want to create and score goals and be involved in big moments like the Oakley game. And honestly, it could be good for us. If you look at the run of games we've just had,
yeah,
we've just played all the top teams, and now we've got to play teams around us. If we win our games, then surely it's in our hands.
Good point.
Everyone's still got to play the top teams in the league,
Yeah.
and it's places to go to. So I think we just got to focus on ourselves and just try and do what we got to do.
And that's a really good point you make. And I guess on paper it kind of looks, we're going to play easy teams. We're going to play the second last place team. But they're just as desperate as we are. And is there always that fear that maybe complacency might start to sneak in? And what does the coaching staff, Cam and the crew, what do they do to sort of combat that?
Yeah, they definitely keep us level-headed, even with like the draws that we had against the top teams. Yes, we was happy in the moment, but we're not fully happy. We want to win games, and I think they keep us level-headed. That when we do win games, we moment, but as soon as it's over, we're moving on to the next game, focusing on the next session. So I'm sure they'll continue to keep us level-headed. I'm sure the boys will keep each other level-headed and focused on what the job is.
Yeah. Now, what about yourself, mate? You were injured earlier in the season. You've sort of come back from that, and obviously playing quite regularly now. Must feel pretty good now to be able to pull on the boots and get on the pitch on a regular basis.
Yeah, of course. I'll be on the pitch and helping the team. So at the start of the season, I did struggle with a little injury, but yeah, I've had a good run of games since. Been playing a lot and enjoying my football, regardless of what the results. I've been enjoying playing. That's the main thing for me. So yeah, I feel good. And as we come to this exciting point of the season, I just want to keep enjoying my football and helping the team.
Yeah, no, look, I'll tell you what, as punters, we are certainly enjoying the football. The only sad thing, I guess, the only bad thing is it's now we're approaching round 20 and there's only 6 more games to go after this. And what are we going to do in the off season? I'm not too sure. What about yourself? What do you sort of, I know it's still early days yet, but what are you thinking of doing? Are you going to stay here in Australia? Are you going to go back to England, or what would you most likely do in the off season?
Off season, well, last year I went back home, and I went back to the UK when it was winter, freezing cold, and here in Melbourne was nice and warm. So this year I'm going to stay in Australia. I'll be in Melbourne this off season, and yeah, pretty much just chilling, enjoying the weather, enjoying the summer. I'll be working a little bit with work outside of football commitments, which is good. That can keep me distracted, keep me focused. Training as well, getting myself ready for the following season. But yeah, that's pretty much it. To be fair, my family might come over to Australia, so that'll be nice. And I'll be able to show them around as well.
And brings an interesting question because this is a good chance now to get to know Mikael Platt. Away from the football, what do you do? Do you work? Do you study? Do you just chill? What do you do when you're not training and playing? Because I assume you train 3 times a week. Is that right?
Yeah, 3 times a week. Just depends on the schedule with games. But yeah, away from football commitments, I do work. I work in retail, so that's just like on a casual basis.
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4 days a week, just depends on what's available. And then outside of that is pretty much just training, just trying to stay in the gym. If I can do pitch sessions, then yeah, I'll be on the pitch. And I also am with a modelling agency, so sometimes I might have modelling gigs, modelling shoots, but it's mainly within fitness and sports modelling. But yeah, I just try to keep myself busy as much as possible. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to take that into consideration next year when it's the season launch and we need some models for the new kits, or and that sort of stuff. But that's interesting. Would you? I mean, you're only 25, so you've still got plenty of time if the opportunity arose to take professional football full on. Is that something you'd love to do, or do you actually enjoy being able to have your mind taken away? Away from football, especially when things aren't going too well, like in the recent months. Is it a good distraction to have like a little part-time job on the side, or would you rather be a footballer full-time?
No, it's definitely a good distraction to have when things are hard. Like with football, you want to sometimes get away from it, kind of mentally reset. So that has been good. A good aspect of like the past few months. But definitely, I love football. I want to be playing football on a full-time basis as a professional. So if the opportunity was to come, I would have to consider, but I do enjoy where I am now. I do enjoy being in Australia, being in Melbourne. I love the now, and yeah, the freedom to it compared to like being back home in the UK is very busy, very full on. So it's quite refreshing. I do enjoy that. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to take it as it comes.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, we keep on harping on about the National Second Division, the imminent National Second Division, and no doubt there will be opportunities that will arise, especially for goal-getters, sharpshooters, whatever the case may be. We certainly enjoy having you at Dinamo and banging in those goals. And, mate, this weekend, as we said, a huge game. We're going to bring that slide back up. It's at Port Melbourne at JL Murphy Reserve. A nice place to be on a Friday evening, but yeah, if it is a cold one, do rug up, and it is going to be a fantastic game. Lots at stake, and while we're there, we'll mention the under-23s are kicking off at 6:15, while the under-19s, they'll be playing at 5 p.m. on the Sunday. But get yourself down to JL Murphy Reserve this Friday night. Kick off at 8:15. Mate, we wish you all the best. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've made predictions on here on DINAMO-TV. And 2 weeks ago, I predicted it was going to be 2-2, and that came right. Last week, we predicted young Jerome Sharan would score a goal, and he did. He actually scored a goal. What's your prediction for this week?
First of all, that's a good guess for the 2-2 draw, and Jerome's goal. Incoming, he's been brilliant in training and in games. So yeah, we're all happy for him. For this weekend, I think the boys have some good momentum and we're feeling confident. I'm going to say there's a win on the cards. I say there's a clean sheet on the cards too. On the cards. That's been coming. I won't put a scoreline, but I'll put there's a clean sheet on the cards. So hopefully I'm right, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Well, let's make it 3 in a row. Hopefully it is a win. I'm going to say 2-1 win. But we won't be a clean sheet. But let's hope it is a clean sheet. 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 10-0, whatever the case may be. Mate, thank you once again for joining us here on DINAMO-TV. Really, really appreciate it. And the best of luck, not just for Sunday, but for the rest of the season as well.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good on you. Mikael Platt, he scored that goal that just absolutely set the place bonkers on last Friday night, and hopefully this Friday night we can do more of the same. Folks, we're going to take a very, very short break, and when we return, we'll continue with tonight's episode of DINAMO-TV. Don't go away. And welcome back to Dinamo-TV. Well, during the week, the transfer window, the mid-season or end-of-season transfer window was open, and it has been a flurry of activity behind the scenes at Churchill Reserve. Folks, you would have seen if you've been following our social media platforms today, there's been a whole heap of new signings that have arrived on the doorstep of Churchill Reserve. And to tell us a bit more about our signings, is our team manager, our long-running team manager of the senior men's team, Jason Zeri. Jason, hello, mate. You look like you've just come back from Tasmania or something. It's been freezing cold, hey?
Yes, mate. Just got back and gone from cold to cold, mate. So certainly nice to be indoors. And
well, was it all work and pleasure, or no pleasure, or was it a bit of both? Or obviously with the transfer happening this week, the transfer window, wouldn't be much pleasure, would it?
No, mate. Just strictly business, mate. Strictly business.
Now, mate,
beautiful place, Tassie, though. Must admit.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope it all went well. Now, let's talk about this week. We've got some huge announcements to make, but let's over to you, mate. Let's kick it off with our first signing.
So we've brought in, I guess, 4 new players for this window. Obviously, the coaching staff, had a look at what we sort of needed to strengthen the squad for the remainder of the season, and obviously there was some crucial areas that we needed to sort of, I guess, cover. So we've sort of gone into signing a couple of 4 players all up, as I said. Sean Ruzvitzo, if I pronounced that correctly, has come on board from Eastern Lions. Quite an exciting young player, attacking minded. He's had some big raps on him from I guess people that have seen him play in the NPL with Eastern Lions. Obviously, he's from overseas. He's been training with us, and obviously he's done the business so far. So obviously excited to get him on board.
Yeah.
Again, just adds a little bit to us going forward. Obviously had the loss of Emmanuel Peters early in the season, which was quite a significant loss to the squad. But obviously coming to the pointy end of the season, we want to make sure that we've got all our bases covered, and obviously having someone like Sean on board will certainly add to our attacking three.
There is a picture of Sean and in front of the famous Dynamo logo in the club rooms. So he's certainly going to be adding a bit more bite there across the midfield and across the attacking third, I guess, as well. Former Peterborough United talent, so we look forward to what he brings. Yeah. Now he's one of 4 signings, and who's the next cab off the rank?
Yeah. Sticking to sort of that the forward line. Another player that we brought on board is Nicholas Koek. Exciting young talent. Spent some. Has come from the Western United Academy. Played in their obviously their NPL one side there, and done really, really well. Again, one of the players that's has come on board and shown shown some quality early doors. So we've decided to pick him up as well. Again, some of the the transfer window is obviously, especially the second one, is always one where you have to sort of look at the upcoming season as well. And with the PPS system having dramatic changes next year, some of these younger players coming through are quite important to our list for next season. But he's definitely come on board and hit the ground running and done really well so far.
Let's talk about that, because, geez, there's always restructures. I mean, there's restructures in the junior area. There's restructures with the female, the women, and obviously with the point system as well. How's that going to affect clubs? And obviously, as you said, we've got to have now one eye on next season as well, regardless of where we're at. And we know we're going to be in the NPL. But how's that going to affect team managers and coaches trying to put together teams?
Oh, look, it's as look, obviously the player point system has a significant impact on the way you recruit, and that's been so for the inception of the NPL itself. Obviously, as you mentioned, the goalposts seem to shift with every season in regards to rules and regulations around around recruiting and the way you can recruit with a player point system and so forth. So, we've been told that next year there's potentially it's going to be scrapped and it might go to more of an age-based system and incentive. But I guess we're all holding our breath until such time we receive more information and we can make some solid decisions around that. But, obviously we're trying to sort of think ahead a little bit as well, and obviously the first and foremost is to ensure that we've recruited well for this window and for this I guess next 7-8 weeks to make sure that we achieve what we need to. But again, like you said, we're also keeping an eye out on for next season, and I guess Nicholas is one of those players that sort of fits that equation quite well. And apart from that need, he's also done really well so far. So we look forward to sort of seeing him in action. And again, he sort of adds that little bit of extra depth in the squad as far as the attacking.
Now we talked about the attacking, and it seems to me that the attacking side of things has been has been going really well this year. In fact, I think most games, if not all the games we've actually scored at least one goal. So it seems to be kind of a leaky defence, but that's being addressed because we've got a couple of signings who are in the back third. And one of those is a fellow who comes from Caroline Springs, George Cross, and he's had a bit of a stint in the NPL. Tell us a bit about Lockie Weir.
Yeah, so Lockie Weir's obviously come across from Caroline Springs, George Cross. He's only been there this season. He's spent many years at Hume City, being a regular starting player. He's played under Cam and Billy before when they had their stint at Hume, so they know a bit about him, and he's a very welcome addition to strengthen our defence. Obviously an experienced player, and he's quite confident in what he does. So we'll look forward to him sort of adding that little bit of depth in the defensive.
Yeah, you've mentioned in one of the write-ups his versatility and football intelligence make him a welcome addition to our squad. And that is the exciting thing, having that versatility across that back line, but also especially in the tight games and as we start to approach the last few rounds of this season, that intelligence, that experience is going to really need to come to the fore. Now that brings us to the last of the signings. Speaking about football intelligence, speaking about experience, this man certainly has got it all, and a former A-League star with Melbourne Victory. This is a big name signing. Tell us about this fellow.
Yeah, look, we've managed to secure the services of Nick Ansell. Obviously, he's had extensive experience with Melbourne Victory, Adelaide United, and he's been abroad as well. Spent many sort of the circuit there across different countries. We've signed him from a club in Thailand. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce
Are you going to try and pronounce that? I'm going to have a go. Nakhon Ratchasima FC, I think. I stand corrected probably, but geez, that's a hard one to pronounce, isn't it?
It is, mate. I've tried a few times and I haven't managed to conquer it. So you've done a great job there, mate. But no, look, exciting signing again. Again, just sort of adding that experience to the defence. And obviously coming into this crucial part of the season, I think it's important to have people on board with cool heads under pressure and all that sort of thing. So obviously he's been there and done that. We'll look forward to seeing him in action, obviously, over the next 9 weeks. But look, ultimately, mate, it's we can sign whoever we sign. It's a collective.
Yeah.
It's a collective effort, and as much as we get excited at this time of the season about new signings, and rightfully so, we also got to focus on the job at hand, and that involves whatever it is, 23, 24 players on the list, and everyone is each as important as each other, is to make sure that we're again getting that job done collectively, and that's the effort it's going to take to accomplish what we need to.
And that all starts tomorrow with the big game against Port Melbourne at JL Murphy Reserve. Now it's interesting to note, prior to last Friday against Oakley Cannons, our last win was way back in round 7, and it was against Port Melbourne Sharks. and that was at our ground, but this is obviously at their ground. And look, they'll be confident, obviously, go after defeating Melbourne Victory on their turf on Monday night. But this is a crucial game, 8:15 p.m. kickoff. But yeah, all roads lead to JL Murphy Reserve. What are we expecting from Port Melbourne? Obviously, a tough game.
Oh, look, absolutely. There's no doubt it'll be a tough game. Look, we're all playing for share stations now, so it's a big deal. And I'm sure, look, every team starting from tomorrow night against Port Melbourne, going into round 26 is going to be a challenge because whether the teams that we're playing against are sort of vying for that top final sort of positions, or they're sort of fighting that relegation battle. There's not too many teams that don't have something to play for, and you usually find at this time of the year, respective of where someone is on the ladder, they're always going to give you a run for your money. But saying all of that, we're pretty confident in what we're doing in regards to being prepared well enough and doing all the right things and what we have to ensure that we're up for the task ahead and going forward. And I can't predict the score, but one thing that we'll certainly be doing is making sure that we give it 100%.
Yeah, definitely. It's a crucial fortnight after Port Melbourne, obviously, this week. We've got sister club Melbourne Knights Sunday week, so two very, very important games where we're playing the two teams below us, well below us. So it's an opportunity for us to really escape that relegation zone. And geez, look how close it is there on the ladder. We're only 2 points behind Hellas, who are in 9th position at the moment, 1 point behind Altona Magic in 10th. So, look, yeah, a string of good results, good wins, and we'll be flying out of that relegation zone, or at least we hope that's the case. Mate, thanks for joining us on Dynamo-TV, and geez, you've been very, very busy these last few weeks negotiating these new recruits.
Yeah, look, it's that time of the year, and I guess we're kind of it's season now to know what we need to do and how we need to do it, and I guess that all comes with the support of the board itself and the guys above me do a great job in supporting us, and obviously Cam, Billy, Pondy, and the rest of the group all contribute to making sure that all this happens. So it's a collective effort, and we just ask that our loyal supporters keep backing us for the rest of the season, and we know we've got a string of home games coming up, and I guess they make a massive difference.
Yeah, absolutely, and we want as many supporters to head over to JL Murphy Reserve tomorrow night and really support the boys. And then obviously a massive crowd is expected Sunday week against Melbourne Knights. Big, and that pretty much kickstarts our 50th birthday celebrations. Jason, once again, thank you for joining us, and all the best, mate, for Friday night, but also for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Donch. Thanks for having me on board.
Jason Zeri, our long-term team manager. Folks, we're going to take a very, very short break, and when we return, it's going to be time to wrap up this week's unusual Thursday night episode of Dynamo-TV.
Westar Prestige is a proud family-owned second-generation business servicing Victorian motorists for more than 50 years. We are a specialist prestige collision repair facility situated in the western suburbs of Melbourne. However, we service all regions of Victoria, with many of our clients travelling not only from around Melbourne, but all of Victoria to use our services. We are also able to provide a digital platform for quoting clients' vehicles who are unable to personally attend our premises. We are an authorised manufacturer-approved repair facility for Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Peugeot and Suzuki, and are proud of our ongoing affiliation with these brands. We also work closely with several of Australia's largest insurance brands who entrust us to be a part of their preferred repairer network. Our client support staff are always happy to assist clients from the initial process of lodging claims through to the final stages of collection of the vehicle on completion of repairs and post-repair. So remember, for all your prestige collision repair needs, consider Westar Prestige, an award-winning, long-standing, Australian-owned business.
Tommy, 5-1, what do you think?
Yeah, look, probably first half was a little bit difficult. Girls were struggling to find their feet a little bit. And yeah, we sort of got going a little bit slow. We're doing some good things, but at the same time, we're making a lot of errors in around, probably more with our passing. But I had a word to the girls at half time, and look, to their credit, they come back out in the second half and literally like a different team. Really stepped up their game, had a lot more focus, and yeah, really rewarded ourselves with a few more goals in that second half. So great to see. I mean, nice to keep a clean sheet, but we didn't manage to do that today. But scored 5 goals, which is really pleasing, and yeah, more importantly, three points on the road.
You got any plans next week? You got a bye?
Look, we do have a bye, but we've got a game penciled in with the Melbourne Knights girls. So look, that should be a bit of fun, a little bit of entertainment for everyone. Hopefully everyone can come down and watch, obviously, the Knights girls and our girls as well. And it should be a really good night.
Good man.
That was Tommy Pondelyak, the coach of the senior women's team. They're doing very well at the moment. They've only dropped 1 game all season, currently in second spot. And apologies that little interview was meant to be part of the news desk, but we overlooked it. And as they say, better late than never. And indeed, we finished it in the best way possible with another winning coach. Folks, remember this week, all roads lead to Port Melbourne tomorrow night. JL Murphy Reserve. I would love to have you all there supporting the boys. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. But of course, if you can't make it, as you know, the game is streamed on YouTube. We look forward to having your company next week on DINAMO-TV. We've got a huge guest planned for next week to do with our 50th anniversary celebrations. More on that early next week. But we will be returning to our usual Wednesday night time slot next week at 8 p.m. Until then, good night and thank you for being a part of this week's Dynamo TV. Bye-bye.